Well, with everything else going on in the world right now, it may be hard to remember the U.S. Census is still going on, and organizations around the state are working hard to make sure everyone is counted. So to talk more about that, we are joined by Jason Black of the Connecticut Community Renewal Team. Jason, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Angelo, thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Of course. So I think the importance of the census can never be overstated enough. So can you just remind us, why is participation so important here?
Yeah, it is huge. It's so important that we get everyone counted throughout the state of Connecticut and really nationwide. The census, as you probably know, Angelo, it's only done once every 10 years. So that alone should be reason enough to want to do it. We need to make sure that the count is accurate. Two big reasons. One, the count from the census itself is used to make budget decisions at the federal level that then come down to the state and local level. So we're talking about billions of dollars that are at stake here. And if the count is off or if the count is low for some reason, the federal government could say, well, you don't need as much money because you have fewer people in your state. Right? And so we need to make sure that we are, in fact, getting an accurate count so that we make sure we get our fair share. The other piece of that that's really important to keep in mind is the census is used to make determinations about the appropriation of seats in the U.S. Congress. Right now, of course, Connecticut has 5 representatives in the Congress. If the count is low, if the count is off, a decision could be made, and we certainly hope that would never happen, but it could be made to say, well, you don't really need 5, maybe you only need 4 representatives, right? That would be a big problem as well. So really everything that can be done right now to make sure that people who have not yet been counted get counted as quickly as possible is really important. You go to 2020census.gov to take care of that.
Of course. And do we know what participation looks like at this point? Yeah,
see, that's one of the things that's an issue, too, and that's why I'm really glad I can chat with you this morning. So across the state, we understand that participation, statewide, it's almost 70%, and that's fantastic, right? That's higher than the national average. The national average is somewhere in the 60% range. But here's the problem. Hartford, as an example, is one of the worst major cities in the entire country for participation in the census right now. Its response rate as of almost 2 weeks ago was about 45%. I'm hoping it's started to creep up since then. We've been working very hard. We know a lot of other people have. The city of Hartford, Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz, she's been working very, very hard on this as well. And so we're trying to do all that we can to get the word out and make sure people know that it's so important that you get counted. The budget decisions, again, it affects things like education and healthcare and things like SNAP benefits and energy assistance here in the state, things that we all need and rely upon.
Which groups, prove difficult to target year after year? Which groups tend to be undercounted year after year, and how to target those groups?
Yeah, from what I understand, there are certainly individuals who they may be wary of the census for one reason or another. They think that it's going to be used against them for some reason. But one of the things that I think people need to understand is that it's not intended to be a gotcha. Right? There's not the reason to do the census. And they've made it so easy now because you can do it all online. You will find there are people who are known as enumerators. Those are the people who go door to door and they help you to fill out the census automatically. They can do it right there with you with a little tablet computer. But you can do it online yourself. If you have computer access and internet access, go to 2020census.gov. It'll take you maybe 5 minutes. It's one response per household, right? You want to make sure that you're counting everyone who lives within your home. It can be done in English, and it's also available in 12 other languages, which is pretty cool.
And you just touched on this, but what do people need to know about deadlines, how they can fill out the census, any other ways? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I'm really glad you asked, because in fact, so here's the thing. The deadline had been the end of October, but about a week or so ago, the federal government changed their mind about that. They said, well, we need more time to finish the counting once we get all the data. So the deadline's been moved up. People must complete the census by September 30th of this year. It's very, very important that you get it done if you have not already done it. If you have done it, thank you very much. You've done your civic duty. It's a wonderful thing. But if you have not yet done the census, whatever I can do to implore you, please go fill out the census. It will take you about 5 minutes at the most, and it's a really good thing.
And to boost participation, CRT actually has some events coming up, right? Can you talk about those?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you very much. So yeah, Community Renewal Team, we've got some fun events that we're doing, and we've been doing these all summer. We're partnering with a lovely organization here in Connecticut called Christmas Wish CT, and they've been coming out with us, and we've been going to different places in Hartford and in some surrounding cities and towns. 2 events that are coming up. One is this coming Tuesday, the 18th, from 2 to 4 p.m. We will be at the Hartford Public Library. The Albany Avenue branch will be in the back in their parking area. We're going to have free ice cream for everyone that shows up, kids, adults, whoever. Everyone can have free ice cream. It's our treat from CRT. But then while you're there, if you have not yet filled out the census, please do so. Lieutenant Governor Bysewicz will be there with us at that event. The library is giving free books to kids that day, which is going to be amazing. And then on Friday, the 21st, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we will be at the Raymond Library in East Hartford. Again, free ice cream for everybody that comes out. We will have census enumerators there once again to help you fill out the 2020 census. Make sure everyone gets counted.
That's awesome. Any other points you want to bring up, remind people of before we sign off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, if people are concerned or if people are worried about filling out the census for some reason, I want people to understand it's not, there's nothing to fear. The census is important. It's vital to our nation. It must be done every 10 years. I know it's a crazy year to think, why do we have to do this now? But it's so important that we get an accurate count. Hartford's numbers really need to get boosted as best as possible. It's going to affect budget decisions that are so important for the things that we all care about here in the state. And it's so easy. You can do it fast and simple. 2020census.gov. The site is secure. And then at the end, when you hit the submit button, your data is encrypted and off it goes, off into the cloud where it will be safe and secure. You can rest assured that your data is private. And it's just, please, if you have not yet filled out the 2020 census, take 5 minutes and go do it now. We really appreciate it.
Good way to put it. Jason Black, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Angelo, thanks for the time today.
Have a great weekend. Have a great day.